gentle back bend. It's always a nice way to start your evening class after everything that we do during the day is in front of us. So you can use either a blanket from a rectangle shape, folded in about 3/4 of the way. So you make a little bit of a ramp for your lower back, or if you've got a cushion off the sofa or even a cushion off the bed, you could use as well. Put it in the center of your mat. When you lie back over it, start with your bottom on the floor, on your mat, lie back over your blanket or pillow, and then shuffle up to your shoulder blades are completely on the floor. Slide your chin in toward your chest. Just check in that you're comfortable in your lower back. If not, move up a little or down a little so it is comfortable. And then knees bent up, take the feet out a little bit wider than the hips so that the knees can lean against each other. Reaching your hands up towards the ceiling. Left hand to right wrist, pull your arm across your chest. And then switching over, and taking the other hand, holding onto the wrist, pull your arm across your chest. And either resting your arms back behind you in a relaxed diamond shape or out to the side in the form of a cross. Close your eyes down. Let's start to check in how your body is feeling. Let your body soften and arrive at your mat. Feel the different parts of your body that are touching the floor. Also noticing the parts of your body that naturally curve away from the floor, like with the knees bent, the back of the knees, maybe the back of your neck, even the back of your wrists. And welcoming your breath into your body. And noticing the space that your breath moves into the different areas of your body. When you breathe in, and where the breath vacates when you breathe out. And if you've already set yourself an intention for this week, you might like to bring to mind that intention now and repeat it to yourself again 3 times. Or take this opportunity now to set yourself an intention for today or for the whole of the week. Might want to set an intention taking you one step closer to a greater interpersonal goal, or maybe setting your intention based on what it is that you feel you need right now. And once you've set your intention, if your arms are behind you, just bring your arms by your side. Then press through the feet, lift your hips, slide your blanket or your pillow out from underneath you. And lowering your hips back down. Open the arms out to the side in the form of a cross and gently rocking the knees side to side, windscreen wipering the knees side to side. Just coordinating that with your breath. Exhale as the knees move to the side. Inhale as you bring them back through the center. And coming back through the center. Bringing one knee in towards your chest and then the other, hugging the knees in. If it feels good, you can gently rock side to side. And then either rolling to the right, press through your hands and come up, or keep your knees and chin into your chest and rock and roll, coming all the way up. Come onto hands and knees into tabletop. Coming onto hands and knees, stack your joints with your shoulders above your wrists, your hips above your knees, spreading your fingers comfortably with middle fingers pointing towards your front. Bending your elbows, dropping shoulders away from the ears. Tuck the toes under, take a deep breath into cow. And then as you exhale, press the floor away, draw the chin in, round through the back, release the toes to cat. Inhaling to cow, tuck the toes, bend the elbows, gently stretching the front body to cow. Exhale, pressing the floor away, draw the chin in, round through the back to cat. And just do a couple more here, moving with the rhythm of your own breath. Make the movements as small or as big as what feels comfortable for you. And your next breath out, keep the toes tucked under, the elbows soft. Look over the left shoulder, back towards the left foot. Taking a couple of breaths here. Breathing, opening into the right side of the body. And inhaling through the center, looking over your right shoulder. Take a couple of breaths into the left side of the body. Inhale, come to the center, open the chest. Exhale, pressing the floor away, draw the chin in, round through the back to cat. Come back into neutral spine, shift your hands one whole hand's distance further forward. Bending the elbows, tuck the toes and lift the hips up into down dog. As you lift the hips to down dog, bend your knees. Use the strength of your arms to reach the sit bones higher, bringing more length to your spine. You can give the head a little yes, no action, relaxing your neck muscles. Then inhale, lower the knees to the floor, opening the chest to cow. Exhale, sending your hips back towards your heels to child's pose. Unfurling back up on the hands and knees. Bend the elbows, tuck the toes, lift the hips to down dog. And again, lowering the knees to the floor. And exhale, press back to child's pose. And just do a couple more of those. Again, really focusing on moving on your breath. And this time coming Up on the hands and knees. Exhale, shift the chest forwards and down lower, an inch or two between the elbows. Keep the pit of the belly lifted. Press up on the hands and knees and back into child's pose. And again, unfurling up on the hands and knees into cow. Exhale, hug the elbows, armpits in as you shift the chest forwards and down. Pit of the belly stays lifted. Press the floor away and back into child's pose. Just do a couple of those. Mindful that the chin stays lifted up into the throat, not letting the head drop off the end as you lower the chest. Remember, you're just lowering to what feels right for you this evening. Next time you press back into child's pose, lower the elbows and the forearms. Come back up onto your knees with elbows and forearms on the floor. Tuck the toes and lift up into dolphin. Dolphin, pressing through the forearms. Heads off the floor. You can bend your knees as much as you need to, again, to get the tilt in the pelvis, lengthen the spine. And inhale, lower the knees to the floor. Come up onto your hands, take the knees out a little wider, send your hips back toward your heels. Yeah, dolphin's always a little bit more challenging when you've got sleeves on. Slide your right arm underneath your left, turn your head to the side, and then extending your left arm forwards. Take a couple of breaths here. And pressing your left hand, lifting your chest, sliding the right arm out, slide the left arm under, come under your shoulder, turn your head to the side. And then pressing the hands, lifting the chest. Lower the elbows, the forearms, come back up onto your knees, tuck the toes to dolphin, lifting your hips up high. From dolphin, walking your feet back into a hover position. So either on knees or toes, but one long line from your hips to your shoulders, lifting the pit of the belly, pressing down through your forearms, lifting up out of the shoulders. Then lower your knees, lower your belly, your hips to Sphinx pose, with the elbows still underneath the shoulders, and press down through the hands, the forearms, and try and slide your hands in towards you, reaching your chest forwards. You can relax your legs, relax your buttocks here. And moving on the breath, take a deep breath in, either on your knees or tuck your toes under. Exhale, lift either your knees, and everyone lifting their hips, their belly, push through the forearms to hover, and then inhale, lower the hips, chest reaches forward to Sphinx. Exhale, knees or toes, lift the hips, push through the forearms, lift the pit of the belly. Exhale, lower the knees, the hips, the belly, Sphinx pose. Once more. Exhale, lifting the hips, can be knees or toes. Inhale, lower into Sphinx. Exhale, this time tuck the toes, lift your knees, lift into hover, and then walk your feet into dolphin. And lifting your right leg into the air. Call it a 3-fin dolphin. You're pressing through the forearms. Lowering your right foot to the floor, lifting your left leg into the air. Lowering your left foot to the floor, lower the knees to the floor. Come up, sitting back onto your heels. The chest up, a little bit warmer now, hey? Let's bring the hands underneath the shoulders. Can be on your palms, or you can come up onto fists, or if you've got blocks, and want a little bit more height, you can place the blocks underneath your hands to lift you up a little bit higher. Chin stays in towards the chest and then press down through the hands or the fists, lifting and opening the chest. Big breaths into the front body. Now, if this is comfortable, and this might be enough opening in the front body for you this evening, if it feels all right to do so, press through the hands and the knees and lift your hips up. Lifting your butt up off your heels, and then mindful that you're not clenching your butt cheeks. So imagine you've got a $2 coin between your butt cheeks and drop it to the floor. Use the action of pressing the hands and the knees to lift and open the front of the body. And then lowering your hips back down and coming forward. Tuck the toes, press up into down dog. Lift right leg into the air, three-legged dog. Knee to chest, big step through, high lunge. Bend the back knee to unfurl up. Once you get there, bend the back knee a lot, lowering it towards the floor, come right up onto the ball of the back foot, and then bring the arms down and around, interlace the fingers behind. You can take the hands as far back as what's comfortable for your shoulders. If it's not comfortable with the hands bound together, you can also separate them and just reach them back to get that opening into the chest. Now from here, the back knee stays bent. Get a sensation of tilting the pelvis, so the pubic bone tilting up, tailbone lengthening down. Lift your breastbone, crown of the head, and from there start to extend the back leg. Keeping your pelvis in neutral position, the pelvis tilting up. And start to tip forward from the hips. Once you tip forward all the way, straighten the back leg, come right up onto the ball of your back foot, reaching the knuckles back. Breathing into the chest. Next exhale, release your belly to your thigh, chest to your knee, hands to the floor, and start to extend your front leg just to your edge. Play around with where your edge is, where you're comfortable. You can push back through your left heel too if you want. Inhale, bend the front knee, plant the hands and step back into down dog. And lifting your left leg into the air, three-legged dog. Knee comes to chest, lift your hips up high, heel ball toe landing, step through. Feet about hips distance, bend the back knee, press down through the feet, unfurling up. High lunge, but start with a good knee bend. From there, there's that posterior tilt, tilting the pubic bone up, tailbone down. And then circling the arms behind, interlace the fingers, open up in the front of the shoulders, your chest. And from there, keep tilting your pelvis, pubic bone up, but start to straighten your back leg just to your edge. Then tipping your torso forwards, come right up onto the ball of the back foot, straightening the back leg. Next, exhale, lower belly to thigh, chest to knees, hands to the floor. Start to straighten the front leg. Relax your shoulders, let the head drop. Just noticing where you feel the breath moving to as you breathe in where the body moves when you breathe out. And bending the front knee, plant the hands, step back to down dog. Inhale, lower the knees to the floor, lower the elbows, the forearms, pardon me, to the floor. And then lifting the hips back up into dolphin again. Dolphin's great for strengthening and opening the shoulders. And walking the feet back into hover. One long line, heels, hips, shoulders. And then lowering your knees, lowering your hips. Lowering your chest all the way to the floor, lower your forehead down. And bring your arms by your side, palms facing down. And start by bringing awareness to your legs. So engage your thigh muscles, which might even cause your knees to lift off the floor, but pressing the tops of your feet into the floor, but the legs are active. Try to refrain from squeezing your butt cheeks together. With the palms facing down on the floor, forehead is down. Reach your fingertips back, lifting your forehead, your head, your chest off the floor. Eye gaze stays straight down at your mat, so the crown of the head is long. If it's comfortable in your back muscles, lift your hands into the air. Again, notice if you're clenching your butt cheeks, want to keep the butt cheeks relaxed. Notice your breath here, belly pressing into the floor. And then making that little bit of a tilt of the pelvis, so pubic bone tilting towards your chest, tailbone towards your heels, creating a little bit more space for your lower back. Then lowering down, turn your palms to face up, turn the head to the side. Big belly breath. If it feels good, you can rock your hips side to side. Then bringing your right arm forwards, just bending your elbow, bring your arm forwards, that's near your head. Bend your left knee, take a hold of your left foot with your left hand, and bring your heel in towards your buttocks. As you bring the heel in towards your butt, push your hips towards the floor, creating a little bit of a sensation of stretching into your quad, hip flexor. And as you push your hips into the floor, you're tilting the pelvis again, so the pubic bone's tilting up towards your chest, tailbone towards your heels, or heel. Take a couple of breaths here. Noticing how it feels on this side of your body. And then releasing your left foot. Bring your left arm forwards, bend your right knee, take your right arm back. Take a hold of your foot, bring your heel in towards your butt, and then pushing your hips towards the floor. Noticing how it feels on this side. Always one side's a little tighter than the other, or maybe a lot tighter. And then releasing your right foot down. Just pausing there for a moment. You can take your arms by your side if that's more comfortable. Head can turn to the side if it's more comfortable. To come up off the floor and bringing your elbows underneath your shoulders for Sphinx pose. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, tuck the toes, lift your hips, lift your knees, walk the feet in to dolphin. Pausing there for a moment, good knee bend, get the flexion at the hips. Lower the knees to the floor, press the hands, lift the elbows, tuck your toes and lift up into down dog. Lift right leg into the air, three-legged dog. Knee to chest for a shorter stance, stepping behind your right wrist, setting up for warrior one. So feet about hips distance or Virabhadrasana one. Feet about hips distance, bend the front knee, stack it over the ankle, press into the feet, unfurl up. Then lifting the arms up overhead. Now press down through the feet, make the back leg really strong, pressing into little toe side of the back foot. So there's a feeling of the weight of your torso is evenly distributed across both legs, that all the weight's not forward in this front leg. Then bring the palms together and let the thumbs just drop towards the back of the neck or the center of the back. Squeeze the elbows in, press down through the feet, lift up through the pelvic floor, lift up the pit of the belly, the breastbone, and then let your head just rest back in your wrists. And taking the arms up, bring them out to the side into cactus arms or our courageous warrior. Find a point on the floor, a drishti point, happy with your balance. Release your hands to your hips, lift your back heel, bend, get close to the earth. Step into your right foot and lift your left foot. Take a hold with your left hand. Knees together and then pushing your hips forward, just like we did when we were on the floor. Slow and steady, lifting your right arm up overhead. Bring your thumb and forefinger to touch. And you can stay here, or if you want to try, bend your standing leg a lot, and then push your left foot back into your hands, starting to come into our dancer's pose. As you kick the foot back, imagine you've got a block between your inner thighs and squeeze the inner thighs towards each other. Keeping stability in the pelvis. Releasing your right hand to your hip. Bend your right knee, get close to the floor. Release your left foot, hand to hip. Take a big step back to warrior one. Anchor the heel, lifting the arms up. Big breath in, reach through the fingertips. And then exhale, hands to the floor and step back into down dog. And then lifting your left leg into the air, three-legged dog. Knee to chest, take a shorter stance behind the left wrist. Anchor the back heel down, feet stay about hips distance, setting up for Virabhadrasana 1. Press through the feet, unfurling up, and checking in with how it feels on this side. And as you press down through the feet, lift up through the front of the pelvis, bring the palms together, let the thumbs rest behind, Elbows squeeze in, then lift your breastbone. Let your head just rest back onto your wrists. Legs staying active, pressing into the floor, supporting you so the upper back, upper body can just relax and be open with the breath. And now reaching the arms up, take them elbows out to the side, courageous warrior. Take a couple of breaths here. Focus on a drishti point on the floor out in front. Then bringing your hands to your hips. Lift the back heel, bend, get close to the earth. Transfer your weight into your left foot. Pick up your right foot, heel to butt, hold on with your right hand. Steady your eye gaze on one point. Once you feel like you've got your balance, knees together, push the hips forward, reach up through the left arm, thumb, forefinger to touch. You might want to just stay here this evening. Or if you want to try, you can bend the left knee, then pushing your right foot back into your hand as you tip forwards. Inner thighs squeezing towards each other, stabilizing your pelvis. Breath into the front body. Squeeze the breath into every little bit of space there. To come out, bring your left hand to your hip. Right hand to your hip. Bend into your left leg. Take a big step back. Anchor the heel. Breath in as you press down through the feet. Reach up through the fingertips. And then exhaling, releasing hands to the floor and step back into down dog. Lower the knees to the floor. Take your knees out wide, big toes together. Sit the hips back and just rest in a wide kneed child's pose. And then pressing your hands, lifting your chest up. Come around sitting on your bottom into Dandasana or staff pose. If it's more comfortable to sit up on a blanket or edge of a pillow, please do so to help lift the hips, tilt the pelvis. And then taking your left leg out to the side, bend your right heel in towards your pubic bone. Left leg will stay active. The foot flexed, knees and toes pointing up. Press down through your sit bones. Inhale, lift the arms up overhead. And then exhale, twisting to the right, holding onto your right knee with your left hand coming behind. Relax your shoulders and be heavy down through your sit bones. Turning the head to where it's comfortable for your neck. And then bringing awareness to your breath. Let the belly be soft and full when you breathe in. And then gently squeeze the abdominal muscles when you breathe out. Next breath in. Lengthen up through the spine. Hold on to the length as you release. On the exhale, chest to the center. Bring the hands behind. Press down through the fingertips, through the sit bones. Lift your breastbone and then start to tip forward from the hips. Once you get to your edge where there's no more tipping forward, just bring the hands forward, soften your elbows, relax your shoulders and let your head drop. Come out, walking the hands in, lifting your chest up. And bending up your left knee and taking your right leg out to the side. Left heel in towards your pubic bone, right foot is flexed. Press down through the sit bones, lift up out of the waist, lift the arms up. Exhale, twisting to the left, holding onto your left knee with your right hand. Bring the left hand behind and then let the hips be heavy, the sit bones be heavy, ground you down. Turning the left shoulder towards the back of the room, turning your head to where it's comfortable for your neck. Next breath in, lengthen up through the spine. Exhale to the center. Bring the hands behind, still anchored through the sit bones. Lift and lengthen all the way up. Press through the fingertips, tipping forward from the hips. And once you get to your edge, bring the hands forward, soften the elbows, relax your shoulders, let the head drop. Come out, pressing the hands, walking the hands back in. Bending up your right knee, bring both legs out in front with the knees bent. Leaning back onto the hands and windscreen wiper the knees side to side. And getting comfortable for Shavasana. So if you're on a tiled floor or wooden floor, just ensure that you've got enough warmth underneath you. Sometimes the mat is not enough, especially as we get into the cooler weather. Have a bolster or a pillow behind your knees. Something to cover your eyes. A blanket or a pillow for under your head, supporting your head and your neck. So taking the time to get comfortable, check in that you're warm enough. I'm going to set the timer. Just taking a deep breath in and out. And start to wiggle your fingers, your toes. Making whatever movements you feel you need to awaken from Shavasana. You might want to stretch your arms and legs long or hug your knees in towards your chest. And eventually bending your knees up and rolling to the right. Pressing your hands into the floor, come up into a comfortable seated position. And bring your palms together in the heart center. Take a moment to repeat that intention to yourself once more. Take it with you off your mat, into your evening, into your week. And let's prepare to chant together once the mantra Om, which connects all things divine, which we all have within us. And take a deep breath in. And lifting your thumbs to your forehead, Namaste.